Hi everybody, it's Terry Ryder from Hotspotting, bringing you my regular feature at this time of the week, every week, which is Hotspot of the Week, locations that I think are worth noting and that I want you to know about. And tonight I'm going to be talking a little bit about Adelaide. I've been talking a lot about Adelaide recently, and I figure if I keep talking about, eventually someone will start listening, because I think that firstly that the South Australian economy is much stronger than people realise, and it's predicted by some noted forecasters to be a leader in Australia on economic growth this year, certainly a lot stronger than many people realise. And the same applies to the Adelaide property market. It's got a lot more potential than many investors around Australia. Adelaide's got a bit of a bad reputation as being a market that doesn't show growth. I don't think that's true. I think there's been certainly notable periods in the last 10 or more years in which Adelaide has grown very strongly, and I think it's coming into another period of growth. Certainly it's a very active market, very busy market, lots of sales happening in the individual precincts within Adelaide, where median price growth in the last 12 months has been between 12 and 15% and sometimes higher. So it's well worth of consideration, and I think it's going to be even more so as we move forward, because there are things coming into the South Australian economy that will impact on the Adelaide property market that's going to make it a city of growth as the bigger cities like Sydney and Melbourne wind down and people are looking for alternatives. Adelaide is definitely worth considering. Very affordable, better rental yields, and great potential for growth. And tonight in particular, for our hotspot of the week, I want to talk about the City of Marion. Now that's a local government area a little bit south and southwest of the Adelaide CBD, well connected. It's got the Southern Expressway, and it's also got a train line, so it's well connected north and south and to other parts of Adelaide through transport infrastructure. But I think what really stands out for me is the value for money in the suburb. This is what I would call sort of approaching middle market for Adelaide, but the prices are such that anybody from Sydney and Melbourne will think it's bottom of the market, but it's not. Most of the suburbs in the City of Marion local government area have median house prices in the 300,000s, in the 400,000s. I was momentarily looking at the wrong set of figures. Most of the suburbs are in the $400,000 to $500,000 mark for their median house prices. Some are a little bit more expensive, 500,000, 600,000. And some suburbs at the top end of the City of Marion market have got median house prices 600,000, and Glandore, probably the most expensive suburb in this municipality, a little bit over 700,000. But most of the suburbs are somewhere in the 400,000. Places like Clovelly Park, Edwardstown, Mitchell Park, Sturt. This local government area does include some coastal areas, so there's notable seaside suburbs like Hallett Cove. Very, very popular suburb, over 250 sales in the last 12 months in Hallett Cove. Median house price around about 450,000. So it's great value for money buying. And there's been some pretty good growth there. Again, I refer to the tendency of media and research sources and economists talking in generalised numbers, a single figure to describe the growth in a single major city. And it disguises the fact that there are individual precincts that have done a lot better than that. So in the last 12 months, against the background where most research sources say that Adelaide house prices have grown only 2 or 3 or 4%, there are suburbs in this precinct. South Plimpton is up 9%. Hallett Cove, I just mentioned, has grown 9%. This is the suburb of Marion within the local government area of Marion. Its median house price is up 10%. In Glandore, the most expensive of the suburbs, it's grown 16%, and then there's various other suburbs that have grown 6 or 7%. So this is a precinct that's been doing well above average, and it's because I think it's good quality housing, great value for money, affordable prices for investors. The rental yields are attractive compared to the bigger cities. Most of the suburbs in this precinct have median rental yields somewhere between 4 and 5%. And then when you look at the unit market, most suburbs, there's quite a few units in this local government area, and most of the suburbs have median apartment prices somewhere in the 300,000s, and a few suburbs are a little bit more expensive than that, up in the 400,000s. And again, good rental yields. most of the suburbs that have substantial apartment markets in this local government area have median yield somewhere between 4.5% and 5%. So pretty attractive buying, I think, for investors. All you need to believe is that there's going to be some growth there. There's a lot of amenity in this local government area, some notable features, including Flinders University, the main campus, with over 25,000 students. Within this local government area, there's also TAFE College. It's also got the Flinders Medical Centre and the Flinders Private Hospital. So there's a big cluster of education and medical facilities, which is also always, in any city, that's a big generator of economic activity and vitality in life, and also demand for real estate, particularly for rentals. There's also the Tonsley Precinct, and this is part of the future growth potential of the City of Marion. The Tonsley Precinct previously was where Mitsubishi Motors had their car assembly plant, and that closed down a number of years ago, and it was considered a major negative for that area. But as so often the case, the area's fought back. That whole precinct has been repurposed and is now described as Australia's first innovation district. So it's an ongoing development of redeveloping what used to be a car assembly plant as a kind of a high-tech innovation precinct, and employment, education and residential components as well. So there's going to be some homes in there, campuses of Flinders University and TAFE colleges, and as an example of what's already established there, Flinders University's Computer Science, Engineering and Mathematics School, which cost $120 million to develop, opened about 3 years ago. So an ongoing development within the City of Marion, very innovative, creating lots of jobs and economic activity, and that's part of the future of this precinct. So I think it's got a lot to recommend it. There's also other infrastructure developments going on of various sorts. It's an area that's going to benefit from the ongoing development of the north-south transport corridor, the road corridor that's the Darlington Upgrade Project, which is a $620 million project currently under construction, is going to provide connection from the Tonsley area to the Southern Expressway, amongst other things. So there's plenty of stimulus for growth, for economic activity and jobs, and better amenity for that area. So it's the City of Marion, a little bit south and southwest of the Adelaide CBD, well connected, good quality housing, great value for money, good rental yields, university campuses, medical facilities, and the Tonsley Precinct and other things. So one that I recommend is one having a great deal of potential for both home buyers and investors. Now, if you'd like to know more about it, that's just a bit of a snapshot, but you can learn a lot more by going to the hotspotting.com.au website and checking out our location reports page. We do have a detailed report on the City of Marion, jam-packed with facts and figures and analysis and information that you might want to consider if you're thinking of maybe investing in that area. And also other parts of Adelaide, we have reports as well, and right throughout Australia, the markets that we think are worth considering, we have detailed location reports for them, and one or two that we don't think we would recommend, but there's a lot of inquiry about because a lot of people own property there and are wondering when those markets are going to recover, such as Gladstone in Queensland, and the coal mining town of Moranbah. Darwin, the capital of Northern Territory, is another one where we got a lot of questions because people invested there in the past and that market's been going backwards, and people are asking the question, when will it recover? So that's our location reports page, but this week featuring is our location of the week, the City of Marion local government area in Adelaide in South Australia. That's it for now. Terry Ryder from hotspotting.com.au signing off. I will talk to you again soon.